This is a lupin. This is about 2.5 months old, and it doesn't get very, I mean, it's slow. You know, it'll be ready in another couple months, actually.
That's the non-aggressive form, right?
Non-aggressive and the native. Again, that pine barrens area is where the seed came from for this. It's not the stuff you see along the roadsides all over.
Didn't you say to me once that that was what it comes mainly from Colorado, or is it just a western? Okay. And then this, I think I read in your catalog that the flowers open with the weight of an insect.
Oh, right, yes. They have two. They're a pea family, so they have an irregular flower, and the two side petals kind of close the flower up, and then there's a little spur petal, and then when the insect hits that spur petal, it's heavy enough that it opens it up so it can crawl. There's butterfly weed right here.
Oh, you definitely wanted that.
Yeah.
That looks pretty.
Yeah, here's the picture of that.
Be considered butterfly? Or?
It's kind of a woodland edge. I see it a lot along the woods, but not. It doesn't grow in a meadow like a butterfly meadow. You don't see it there. And you don't see it deep in the woods, but you see it on the edge or a disturbed area.
So maybe on the border background, back of your...
And as long as it's tall, you know, it's real tall, so it's really a great back white aster.
Oh.
And what this plant does well is it produces an aster, but with only like 7 petals.
Okay.
And then it's got a white center. So and it produces.
This is yellow coneflower.
Bud petal ones. And that's the majority of the dry butterfly plants that I have.
You know, in the...
This is my garden. we put fence all around it to protect the plants from deer, and the CDs hanging on the fence are to keep birds from hitting it. Here's the garden here. It has a pond there, and the frogs really like the pond. The driftwood in is to let animals climb out if they fall in, but we haven't seen if any have fallen in. All the plants in my garden are native to my area, and they are all plants for butterfly food or laying eggs on. And that's why I chose all the plants. This plant here is called lupin. It has purple flowers when it blooms. One of the lupin was the only plants to die in my garden, and everything else lived except for that one plant. Here's butterfly weed. It's still kind of small, but when it gets bigger, it'll bloom orange flowers. This plant here is aster. They're blue, purple, and white asters. This one will bloom white. Here's some black-eyed Susan. Black-eyed Susans were the only plants that bloomed this year, but that's sort of expected because the plants weren't very big when I got them. They'll probably bloom in a couple summers. And because there were only a few flowers this year, there weren't any butterflies in my garden. This plant here is yellow coneflower, and it will have long yellow petals when it blooms. This clump of plants is fireweed, and they're the biggest plant in my garden right now, but they'll get really tall and bloom purple flowers. These plants here are wild bergamot, and they will bloom small pinkish purple flowers when they bloom. So, here's my garden.